Hi, everyone. I hope we are doing good today. Just, just waiting for a couple of seconds. Probably more people will join us. I hope everything has been going well on our end. Let's stay muted. Please, let's stay muted. Please, let's stay muted. All right, so let's take questions based on what we've done before. Let's take questions for 5 minutes. If you have any question concerning what we have learned so far, of course, today is the last day for Excel. I believe all of us are aware of that. So please let me know if you have any question, and let's take it for the next 5 minutes. Anyone with question? Anyone with question? No one? So it's safe to say that we all understand everything that we have been learning so far. If I ask a question, are you going to answer it?
Let me ask a question. I want to ask a question.
All right, please go ahead, sir.
All right, my name is Sean for me. Okay, like yesterday class. Actually, I left the class due to some online meeting, but it was painful that the most enjoyable part. I missed the class, but I tried to watch the video anyway. I'm okay. Now, what I'm trying, my question goes, the index and VLOOKUP, right? Which one I can see the index and match that the index basically is more preferable than lookup. Which one we prefer, or do you think we should use more when we are analyzing the data?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I think I mentioned that they both have pros and cons. So, but index match, I know generally faster than VLOOKUP. I know
your voice is low.
Can you hear me now?
Your mic is low. You know.
My mic is low?
Yeah.
It's not, or it's very loud. I think to check your end.
Thank you for that. So I said that I mentioned that index match is generally faster than VLOOKUP. So index match, as if in my own understanding, it's an upgrade to VLOOKUP because it helps us do much more. Funny enough, you can actually use VLOOKUP. You can actually use match inside of VLOOKUP. I'm sure you know that because trying to find. Please, let's stay muted. There is a noise coming. So it's all about trying to find the position of a particular value, cell value. So if you are using VLOOKUP and inside of your VLOOKUP, you need to find the number. Remember when we're doing our VLOOKUP and we're having to put number 32, which represented the column. You can actually use match in that case. So really, it's all about trying to bring a lot of things together and knowing what works for us, what does what. So if you prefer to use VLOOKUP, it's okay. If you want to use index match, it's also okay. But I know that in terms of speed, generally index match is faster. And it's more obvious when you are dealing with a lot of data, right? So that's when you know the difference. But if you're not really dealing with a lot of data, then I think you can just choose.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, any other question? Any other question? Okay. So we'll start now. But before that, I would like to make an announcement for those who are watching online. We agreed based on the feedback I got. So today we'll be spending more than 2 hours. I hope that we will be able to finish everything within 2.5 hours. So please, we'll be spending 2 hours, 30 minutes. That's the time I allocated. Hopefully, I can complete the dashboard. If at all I cannot complete it within that time, I would definitely make a video, but I believe that I should be able to complete it, or we should be able to, because we are going to do it together. We should be able to complete the dashboard in 2.5 hours because we'll be learning and asking questions, and then I'll be showing you some things. So let's get started very quickly because we don't have a lot of time.
We are ready.
So, thank you so much. So today we will be doing a dashboard. So we have covered all these topics from beginning to end here. And we'll be seeing a sample dashboard. I already sent you the data set, I believe. So the data set is available on Discord. So please download the data set day 6. So if you download it, you have something like this. So it's a data that you are familiar with because we worked on it on in our mini project in the weekend. So it's a data set that you are familiar with. So the first sheet is a pivot recap. So yesterday we stopped here. For some of us that have watched the video, if you missed, and those of us who were in class, you agree that this is where we stopped. And before I continue today, I will just touch on one thing that I mentioned yesterday. If you remember, after we created our pivot, we are going to create a lot of pivot today. So there's no point really emphasizing on this, but I just want to show us something before we go forward. So if you remember when we created our pivot, we also created a slicer, right? And this is the slicer here, this slicer. So you would remember that when I use this slicer, for instance, I choose East, this is the only chart that is changing. If you look at these guys, they are not changing, right? You can see that it's only this guy that is changing. And that's because this slicer was created from this pivot, right? So you can see that once I go to South, this table, everything here is changing. The chart is also changing. So all these ones are not changing, this one and this one. So it's just a matter of connection because they are different pivots, right? So for you to allow this guy to control other chart, you need to actually set the connection, okay? And how do we do that? Very simple. Just click on this slicer, and then you have, what did I call this yesterday? Who can remind me? A menu that pops up when you click on something. What did I call it? Who can remind me? Anybody?
Contextual.
Is it slicer?
Good. Contextual menu. So we have a contextual menu here, slicer. So if I click on this contextual menu, we are going to find report connections. Can you see it? Report connections. So if I click on this report connections, it's showing me all the reports that are connected to this slicer. So at the moment, you will see that it's only pivot table products, this one that is connected. So if I actually want to connect this guy, which is country, you know, if you remember, we renamed all our pivots. That's the reason for renaming it. If you did not rename it now, you just be seeing pivot 1, pivot 2, and all of that. So we actually renamed. So let me rename this one as well to, no, it's already renamed anyway, but let me make this one country because it's actually country, not product. And this one is region. So this is region. So, but if you click on this one, now this region, and you go to Power Pivot, you can see that the name is region, right? If you come to this one now and you click on Power Pivot, you see that the name is country. And then if you come to this one and you click on Power, you see that it's product. So that's exactly what you are seeing there. So if I go back to my slicer report connections, now I want this slicer to be able to control country and region. So all I need to do is to check it and then click on OK. So now when I click on anything on this slicer, it's going to affect, you can see it's affecting everything. So it's going to filter down everything, as you can see. So now we only selected East. So I'm only seeing East for my region. So you can see that the slicer is now controlling everything. I hope that is clear. Do you understand? Okay, I believe you understand. All right, so that's how you create a connection between a slicer and other pivot. So now let's go to what we have today. So today we have this customers table. So I created something very simple here. Let me show us. So I assume that we have a business requirement. This is not actually how it looks like all the time, but just to create a, just to give us that scenario. So let's assume that the business side now, they have given us the data. That's the customers table, the customers sheet, and then they've given us the following requirements. They are interested in knowing how many customers they have in the database. Don't forget that table is about customers. They want to know how many customers they have in the database. They want to see a breakdown of the customers, that's the number of customers, based on their income, based on their age, based on their gender, marital status, occupation, education level, and so on. So they also want to see an interactive review of the customer database. So it means that it should be interactive. For instance, you want to be able to check married male customers that are not parents, be able to toggle different dimensions together. That's what it means. Similar to the questions that we were asked during our project. And then this last one is based on income. not the number of, oh, sorry, this is based on income. Okay, this one is find out the most valuable customers based on income. So you want to know which customers are most valuable and all of that. So I put this highlight because we might not be able to do that within the scope of this class if time does not permit us. Maybe I can make a video on it or show you how to do it. I don't know, but these are the major things that we want to do today. So this is what will help us to build our dashboard that we'll be creating today. Okay, so you understand the questions now, the requirement, how many customers we have. Our dashboard should be able to show us how many customers we have. We should be able to see a breakdown of our customers based on these dimensions, and then we should be interactive enough. So let's see how we can do that. Okay, so here is our data originally. So we have customer key and all of these, name, first name, last name, birth date, and so on and so forth. But based on the requirement, I can see that we have something like age, and age is not here, right? Age is not here. We agree age is not here, right? So it means that we need to be able to calculate their age from their birth date. And how do you calculate age from birth date? If I ask you now, how old are you? What are you going to say? You are going to tell me your age. And how did you calculate your, please, I will limit questions today. Please, sorry, I just want us to go fast. But when it's time to ask questions, I will allow us to ask. Except you have complaints. Maybe my screen is not showing or something like that. You can just put it on the chat. Okay, so if I want to calculate my age now, all I need to do is, what year are we? We're in 2023. Let's say I was born in 2000, year 2000. So I'm going to say 2003 minus what? 2000. That's how to get my age. So it means that even though they did not give us anything age, we should be, our analytical thinking mindset now should tell us that we can get age from this column. All we need to do is to know the year that we are in and then subtract the age, the birth date from it. Is that clear? Okay, I believe that's clear. And then we can also do all of this transformation, like the gender, full name, gender, marital status, as we know, all of these things. So we already did it last week in our what's it called, mini project. I'm not asking you to do it today, so I don't want us to waste time. So what I did is, from the one we did, I just copied it. So you have it in your data, so you don't need to bother. But the only thing we'll be doing is age, because we don't have anything like age yet. We only have birth date and year. So we still need to calculate age. So I want us to do that first before we go into our work. So I want to calculate age. So let me create a new column now. Insert. So the reason why I did not do it before sending is because I want to show you a function again that you need to know. So age. So now, based on what I said, age is going to be the year that you are in. So we are in year 2023, all right, minus this age, right? And I click on enter. So once I click on it, you can see that I have 54. By the way, you would notice that there is something like a green. Can you see this thing? So it's an error, but Excel is still able to work with it. So let me explain what this guy means. So Excel is seeing 1969, but 1969 is supposed to be a number, right? But Excel is seeing it as a text. If you remember, guys, when you extracted your year from the date, do you remember? You actually use a text function. Do you remember, right? We did it, right? So because of that text function that you use, Excel is populating this value as a text, and that's why it's appearing as a text. But Excel knows that 1967, 1969 is actually a number. So why is it a text? So that's why it's giving it this green mark, just to draw your attention that, hey, I think this guy needs to be investigated. So if you click on it and you click on this arrow here, you will see that Excel is telling you that a number is stored as text. So there are several things you could do. You could ignore the error if you actually want to leave it as a text, or you can just convert to number. So if I click on convert to number, you see that Excel changes to a number, and then there's no more error. So I want us to start with that. So instead of doing it one by one, I'm just going to do Ctrl-Shift down, and then I can probably come here to the top, the first one, and then change, just do convert to number. So it's going to convert everything to number. Okay, so that's just to take away that error that you have there. So going back to our formula for age is 2023 minus.
Please, can you do that again, please? Thank you.
No, it's going to waste time. I'm rushing.
Just the error, that's all.
Okay, so this is the error. I said you just need to click down and then do convert to number. Okay, let me give you another disclaimer. If you think you want to follow this class and complete it while I'm doing it, let me not lie to you, you cannot. So at any point you miss anything, just admit that you are lost and then come back to the video. This is not a video that you watch once. You have to watch it again. Let me just give you that disclaimer now. Okay, it's not even because I'm rushing, it's just the fact. So I'm just saying. All right, so talking about age is actually 2023 minus this guy, right? So you want to drag that down, which will give us all of the age. So you can know that someone born in 1944 is 79 years and so on. But this formula is actually rigid because let's assume that we go into 2024, this age will no longer be correct. And that's because we have hard-coded the year that we are in, which is 2023. So instead of doing this, by now, you should know that we've talked a lot about avoiding something like this. You should look for a way of making this dynamic, right? So instead of having 2023, we should have something that even if we go to another year, it will automatically calculate that year, okay? So how can we do that? I believe there are several ways, but the one I want to show you first is a function that I want to introduce to you. So there's a function called, is a date function. It's called today, okay? So when you say today, you can see the definition. It returns the current date as formatted as date. So if I do today and I add these two brackets just like that, yeah, it's not taking anything, and I click enter, it's going to give me today's date. So if you close this workbook now and you open it tomorrow, this date is going to change to tomorrow's date. So this is a dynamic function that helps us get the date of the day that you are in. There's another one that is called now. That one gives us the date and time together. I think so. So you can see the definition. It says returns the current date and time. So if I do this one now, it's going to give me the current date and the current time. So you can see we're actually in 8:17, just to show you these two functions that they exist. So now, since we have this function, now this function can actually help us, because when we get to 2024, even if it's the first day of 2024, the date will be 1st of January 2024. Are you getting it? So now what we need to do is to extract the year from this today. So now I can do today, I can now do year of today, right? So since you already know year function, so year is going to give me the year of that date. So year of this date now will give me, all I need to do now is to, is it year now? Okay, I can do that text function that we did the last time to get our year, right? So that was what we used. So text, I hope you guys remember. And then this is the date. And then I am going to change this one to YYY. Is what we have done before. I hope you remember. And then we get 2023, right? So now, if we go to 2024, this will automatically change to 2024. I hope it is clear. So instead of now writing 2023 as hard-coded, I will just copy this formula and use in that point. Do you understand now? I hope it is clear. Okay, I believe it is clear. So let's go to customer prep again. This is where we are doing it. So instead of writing this 2023, I will just write that formula there. So we are text of this minus G8. So we are still going to get the same answer, but you already know what is going to change, right? It will be dynamic when you go to another year. So this is how we calculated the age, or this is how we calculate the age. Now, because of, I don't want to waste a lot of time, I know that plotting a chart for age like this does not really make sense. So it's better we have like an age group. So we can say something like people that are between, okay, let's continue. Let me just move forward. We'll come back to it later, okay? So now let's create our pivot table in order that we may summarize everything that we have here. You already know how to create a pivot table, right? So I'm going to click on anywhere there and click on Insert Pivot Table. I want it to go to a new worksheet, right? So and I click on OK. So Excel has created a new pivot table for me. So let me bring it here. And then I'm going to rename this column to Pivot Table. All right. Now, based on what we have been told in our requirement that I showed you earlier, we are asked to calculate the number of customers that we have in our database, right? So that's the first requirement. So let's start with that. So let me show you again, in case, I think I should have sent this requirement to you guys so that you can see. But please, maybe you can take a screenshot now, or maybe I will just be bringing it and taking it back. But these are the requirements. So let's start with this one, the number of customers we have in our database, okay? So let me go over here and create it. So we are clicking here. Now I can bring in my customer key. So if I bring in my customer key, it automatically comes to value. You already know that now, but I don't want to sum the customer key because what we want to do is to count the number of customers, right? It's not sum. The reason why it automatically sum is because the customer key are like numbers. In this case, in a real world setting, you would want to change these numbers to text because you don't want Excel to be adding it up because it's actually not like a number that you can add up. It's just like an identity. But I don't want to do a lot of details on that. So we know that this has to be counted in order to know the number of customers we have here. So how do I do that? I'm going to change this sum to count, right? You remember we did that yesterday. So I'm going to click on this place and then value field settings. We already did all these things yesterday, so there's no point in really like, so and then I'm going to change this to count, right? And then I can even change the name. Instead of saying count of customer key, I can say total customers. Okay, and then I click on OK. So we can see that we have 327 customers in our database. You can confirm if you go over there and try to do Ctrl+ down and see count, or try to use count function yourself, anyone, you are going to get the same answer. So this is our first pivot table, right? So we need to create a lot of pivot table because we have a lot of things we want to look at. So the second thing we are asked to look at is the breakdown of our customers based on income, based on age, based on gender, based on marital status, based on occupation, and all of that. So based on all these dimensions that we have here, we want to see how many customers are male or female, how many customers are single, married, you know, a breakdown of that. We saw something similar in our yesterday's pivot table. So let's see how we can do that here. So again, I told you that when you create a pivot table, you need to create another pivot table in order to be able to, like, you cannot use the same pivot table. So you have to keep creating that pivot table. And indeed, yesterday I mentioned that one way to do that is to copy and paste, right? So if you copy and paste a pivot table, you have another one, but it has a disadvantage. But if I tell you that disadvantage, you will not understand. So I'm going to do it on purpose, and then I will show you the disadvantage later. So let me copy this one now, Ctrl+C, and then I paste here, somewhere down here. Ctrl+C, and then I paste down here. So if I click on this one now, you will see that the name of the pivot is what? Pivot table 15. So for clarity's sake, I'm going to be changing it. So I will say this one is total customers so that I can know that this pivot table is, you already know the advantage of naming it now. I showed you when we were trying to link up earlier. So if I click on this one, the name is pivot table 16. So let me change this one to marital status. So because we want to do marital status here, okay? So what I'm going to do now is to bring in marital status. So we already have the total customers, so I need marital status from here. So you just check here. So if you use marital status, it is MS, and that's not what we want to use because we already created full one. So I'm going to be using marital status full, right? So, and then you see that you have 161 married. Let me increase this a bit. 161 married, 166 single. So again, to get another pivot, so I'm going to copy it and paste it here. And then this one, let me rename it to gender, okay? So gender. So you can be trying these two on your hand. I'm just going to be doing the same thing basically. So gender, I'm going to remove marital status full, and then I'm going to replace it with gender. Are you seeing it? So now we can see that, oh, gender full, not gender. So gender full. So we can see that female 156, male 167, NA 4. So again, we'll copy again because we have a lot of dimensions to look at. Oh, let me correct something. So you see that we have this grand total, and this is not needed. I think I mentioned that yesterday. So let's take it off. So you can see that we have to take it off for all of these things now. So let's just take it off once and for all so that we'll not have to be doing it multiple times. So, and I showed you that you can take it off if you go to design, and then you will see grand totals, and then off for row and column. So this grand total will go. I showed you that also yesterday. So again, design grand totals off for row and column. So that grand total is gone. So now the next thing we want to do is we have done for marital status, we have done for gender. So let's do for occupation now, okay? So I'm going to be removing this gender, female. I'm going to be removing gender and replacing it with occupation. So if I replace it with occupation, we can see the breakdown of occupation. So in order to make this also clear, so let's be changing these row labels here that we have here so that we will know. So that this one is marital status, just for clarity, to make it easy to understand what's going on. And then I'm going to increase this so that we can see it here. This one is gender, right? I hope you are following, guys. Please, if you have any doubt, just chat on just leave your chat. I will wait. But don't unmute, just put it on the chat. This one is occupation. Right? So again, we'll just copy. So you can see it's just repetition. So we are just copying. So I don't want to go too down there. So let me start another one here. And this one, let's call this one what again? Wealth category. We have a lot of things that we could break our analysis on. So let's call this one wealth category. So I'm going to call this one wealth. Okay. And then I'm going to change this occupation to wealth, right? The wealth category here. So we can see 156 are average, poor 141. You already remember when we did all of these things, right? In our mini project, when we add a if function and all of that. So this one, which one do we have again? We've done marital status, we've done gender, we've done homeowner. So some, are they homeowner or not? So this one, I'm going to call it homeowner. Homeowner. So you will see that I created homeowner full. So homeowner full is like telling us yes or no, because in the original data, it is just Y and N. So I was the one who created for yes or no. So I'm going to copy again. You can see how easy that copy and paste is, but it has a disadvantage. So you will find out the disadvantage later. So the next one is parent. So I actually created a new one. It was not in what we did in the mini project. So I actually created a parent colon. And how did I find out? So we have a total number of children here. So I used an if function to check if the number of children is greater than equals to 1. That means that person is a parent, right? So if you have at least one kid, it means you are a parent. If you don't have that, if it's 0, you are non-parent. So that's how you have this. But you don't need to concern yourself with that because I already created it. So again, we'll come over here and change this pivot to parent, and then just replace this occupation here, this home full name rather, to parent. So let's look for parent. Okay. So again, let me change all this name here. This one is parent. This one is what's this one again? What did we do here? Let me see. This one is house homeowner. So homeowner, that's people that maybe they have a house or something. I guess so. And then this one is wealth category. Are you following, guys? Okay, we are just repeating the same thing. So what's the last breakdown? Do we have any other breakdown? We've done gender, marital status, occupation. Okay, we have education level. Have we done education level? No. So we need to do education level also. So I'm going to copy this again, copy it and paste it here. And then we can rename it first to education level. Just call it education. And then I can remove this parent and replace with education level here. We have education somewhere here, yeah? Education, yeah. So we can see 78 people are bachelor's degree holders and so on and so forth. Okay, so I can change this title here to education level. Okay. So the last one is age. Okay. So let me do that one also. So I'm going to copy this guy now. And then I would come again to the right. To the right, to the right, to the right. So I can just paste it somewhere here. So I'm leaving those space so that we can have something for the chart. That's why I'm leaving those space. So anyhow you want to do it, just get it done, right? So if you want to have a separate sheet for all of them, so nobody will fight you. So again, I'm going to take up this education level and then add age. But when I add age, I noticed that we have a lot of options for age. Oops. So by age, automatically he added it to the values, and that's because it's a number. You remember? So, but that's not what I want. I don't want age to be to be summarized. I want to see a breakdown by age. So I'm going to manually drag my age to my rows. So you can see now that we have 9 people that are 43 years old. We have 8 people that are 44. And this is really a long list. Even if you create a chart for it, it's not really going to look nice. So in this case, the best thing for you to do is to create an age group. Okay, so you can say people that are between 40 and 49. You can probably call them 40s. People that are between 50 and, do you get the idea? So that's actually a better solution to save us, because there's not really a chart that can really show us, this cannot be meaningful on chart, again, from experience, and so that's a better way to go about this, so that we will not have a lot of dimensions. So should we do it now? Yeah, let's do it. So I believe all of us can do it. So all you need to do is to create, again, I said between 40 and 49, you call them 40s. From 50 to 59, 50. So you know how you can write your if function, right? So, but I think I wrote it, so I don't want to waste time. So let me just copy the one I wrote in my own work that I did, so as not to waste time. Is the formula still here? Let me see if the formula is not here, I will just copy what I have. Oh, okay, the formula is still here. You guys are lucky. Okay. So let me copy it. So this is in I, right? So do we have it in high here? Okay, so I need to create a new column here and call it age group. Okay. I hope you understand what we are trying to do that I used for it. So, and how did you can see the formula here. Just, try to write the formula by yourself. So I said if it is less than 50, then call them 40s. So, and the reason is because I checked it. So the minimum is this actually, the formula might not work if you have someone that is like 39. It means it will also call that person 40s. But again, I just want to, I don't want to stress myself. So since I know that the least person there is like 43 or so, so I just said anybody less than 50, call them 40s. If they are less than 60, call them 50s. If they are less than 70, call them 60s. If they are less than 80, call them 70s. If they are less than 90, call them 80s. If they are less than 100, call them 90s. And if they are otherwise, so that means if they are greater than 90, just say that they are ancient. So that's what I used in my formula. And now you can see that 54 appeared as 50s, right? And then if I do if I drag this down as usual, so you see that everything here is expected to be in the 50s, right? So this 44 now, this is 40s. 79, this is 70s. You get the idea? So that just get it done. So once I'm done now, I can remove this guy. So I will not be using this age, just age. So I'll be using age group now. Okay. So instead of using this guy, we'll be using age group. But now you would see that age is not here. Are you seeing it? Age group, age group is not here. And that's because, of course, what is populating this guy does not have age. I think I showed it yesterday, how we can change it, right? So what we have to do is click on this guy now, go to pivot table analyze, and then you will see change data. Did I show you change data source yesterday? Please, someone remind me. Did I show you yesterday?
No.
No. Okay. So just take it as the first time you are. So you have already selected. This is the old data that you selected, right? This one was not there before, right? So now you have added something. Excel is not going to change the range. So it's still going to be taking from A to previously it stopped at V, right? So it's going to be still taking it to V, but now it has extended. So you need to tell Excel that I have actually extended this thing. So the way to do that is to go to your pivot table analyze, and then you see change data source. So once you click on change data source, you see that Excel is showing you the range that is selected before, which is from A to W here. But there is something else now that has been added. Okay, maybe you might not understand. Let me come back to this customer preps and actually try to expand everything here. So if I expand everything here, you will see that the last column we have now is at W. Then that range should be correct. Okay, so let's go back there. Let's check. So if I come back to this range, pivot table analyze, and I click on change data source. Okay, it's actually catching everything now. So it's actually at A to W. And the reason is because I created that new column in the middle. So Excel is automatic. Assuming I created it at the last end, it might not be able to pick it up. If we are doing for purchase, you understand what I'm saying. So ignore this for now. So because I created that new column in the middle, it's able to adjust and automatically pick everything together. But assuming I had created that new column at the end, it would not have known that I created a new column at the end. So I will show you when we are doing for purchases, you understand what I'm saying. So now it's already seeing it. All I need to do to make that age group appear here is to what? Is to refresh. I showed you refresh yesterday. So if I click on refresh, you see that it's refreshing. You see that now we have age group. Do you understand? Okay, I hope you understand. So now I can select my age group. I showed you refresh yesterday, so you should understand. So now with our age group, you can see that it indeed makes more sense, right? So you can easily just say 96 people are 40s, 74 people are 50s. This gives more meaning than having that huge number, because the business are not really interested in the particular age. They just want to like know, when you are reporting to business, it's more of a summary level reporting. It's not really like hardcore. If you want to do hardcore, then you can be taking everything the way. But sometimes it's just a summary. Just try to, because they cannot be looking at and tracing, okay, 50 people are 20 years old. Just give them a summary. Call them adults, group them, call them teenagers, this kind of thing. It really helps your analysis make more sense. So that's exactly what we have done here. So having done that now, I think we are done with all of our requirements as far as I know. Of course, sometimes you can see more things than even the business require. This even happens a lot of time. As a good analyst, you should be able to see more things than, because business will just say, okay, they need something like this, but you see that it's working on the data. So the moment you are working on data, you see some things that they probably did not see. So then you try to include it in your analysis. But today I will not be stressing myself. I will not be stressing you also. Let's just keep to this requirement and move on. So now we have been able to break down all our customers, the number of customers based on all of these dimensions. The next thing now is for us to create a visualization, right? So like a dashboard and all of that. And I want to give you an assignment, or I want to put a question, not an assignment, just find out what's the difference between dashboard and a report. You've probably heard of dashboard before. You've probably heard of reports. So what's the difference between the two? So find out. And no, I'm not asking you to tell me now. Just find out. If you know the answer, good for you. You can put it on our Discord group and let's discuss about it. But find out the difference between a report and a dashboard. So let's get started with creating. Okay, let me take questions if we have any question based on what we've done so far, because we're about to do something different. So anybody with question? Anyone with question? Anyone?
Yes, sir. I have a question, sir.
All right.
Okay, so when you are trying to do the age group, you use the if function. So my question is, can't we use ifs function as well, since we have lots of criteria we want to check?
No, you don't have a lot of criteria. You only have one criteria. You're only checking the age.
Okay.
Right? So it's like, if this age is this, give me this. If it's not, so it's not like if this age is this and something else is this. That's when you have two criteria.
All right. Sir.
Don't let us. Thank you for even reminding me. By the way, thank you for reminding me. By the way, for the first time, I have seen. Let me bring my Discord here so that we can all see. For the first time, I have seen that majority are always wrong. All of you missed this thing. This question. The people that chose A are the correct people. Are the ones that got it. 36 chose B and only 12. Maybe some of you were doing majority carries the goal. I don't understand. But the answer is actually A now. because I already told you before in this class that you can use count ifs for only one criteria. It will still work. So why are we having no everywhere? I'm disappointed in those 36 people. For the 12 people, pass for yourself. Okay. So I just thank you for even reminding me. Let's go and review our ifs very well and understand. So when you have more than one, back to your question now, sir. It's only dates, it's only the age, the age that we are considering. So if it's not like we are saying if the age is this and then the wealth category is this, then that's two conditions, two criteria. So it's still one criteria, which is the age. So it's just the other things are just the things that come under the age. So if the age is this, return this. If the age is not this, return this. If the age is, so you can see it's still age. It's not like if the age is this and the gender is this, then that's two criteria. I hope you got it, sir. Okay.
Sorry, but Mr. Idris, the definition, this thing for documentation for ifs says checks whether one or more conditions are met and returns a value corresponding to the, okay.
You have answered your question yourself. That's why you said that, okay.
No. It's to the first true condition. It's just saying if the first condition that any condition that the cell meets is met, still the same thing. It actually works. It's still the same if you're nesting plenty ifs, even if it's just one column we are working with.
Yeah, the thing is, it's similar to the question that I asked now. If you use ifs when you are checking one criteria, you are still going to get the answer. It is similar to the question that I asked in the chat, that in the Discord, that if I use count ifs for only one criteria, we need to work. Yes.
But count if says count the number of cells specified by a given set of conditions or criteria.
He said one or more conditions. Is that not what he said?
Of a given set of conditions of criteria, and it's all plural. The conditions and criteria are plural.
So what are you saying? I don't understand because I'm
it won't
lost.
work if count ifs will not work if it's just one condition.
Can you try it and confirm that it's not going to work? Because I showed you in this class.
Yeah, I'm about to try.
Remember that?
Yeah, but it works if it's just one condition or multiple conditions.
Sorry, just hold on. I showed you in this class, I showed you that you can actually use count ifs. And I remember I showed you in this class. How many remember that I showed you in this class? Anyone?
Are you sure it's not count A?
I tested it actually, and it worked for just one condition.
So you try it now. That's how you learn. If you don't believe, then you try it. Let's continue, please. I don't want us to waste time. So please, 36 people got it wrong. I wish I could gift those 12 people something. Because I was surprised when I just came and I saw 36 people. This majority did not carry vote. Okay, so let's go. So enough of the talking. Let's continue with our class. So now we have created all the tables, all the pivots. The next thing now is for us to start creating our chart. Okay. So because that's what we need to use to create our dashboard or our report, depending on what you want to do. So for this one, I will leave it for now. It's just one value. So it's not really like we are going to create something for it, but it's not like really a chart. So let's leave this for now. If it's in a Power BI, or Tableau, there's a chart for them. They call them card, where you can just display a certain value. But I don't think Excel has that. So we'll probably have to do that by ourselves, but no problem about that. So let's go with the others. So for this one, I can just click on this, come over to pivot chart. We've done all these things before, so I'm not going to waste my time. And I remember telling you that for this kind of thing, I prefer to use a pie chart, right? You remember? I hope you remember. So I'm just going to be creating everything very quickly. So one thing I want to add here is the label. Okay, data label. I want to see the number, and then I want the label to be outside end. Okay, and then I want my legend to be at the bottom. Okay, so this one. Now you will see these guys here, these total customers, and then this marital status full. You can actually remove it. I think someone was also asking yesterday. So if you click on this chart and you go over to pivot analyze and come over to field buttons, you will see all these things. Show. Just click on hide all and they will be gone. So it's because we are actually creating it as a pivot chart. That's why we're having those things. If it's a normal chart, you will not have those things. So that's how you can remove it. And also for the title, I want to show you one very interesting thing about the title. You can actually make your title dynamic. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Now, yesterday I showed you that if you want to change your title, you can just do something like title. Okay, so it means that anytime I want to change this title, I just have to keep coming to this chart and changing it and all of that, which is not really good, because I mean you cannot even make this dynamic, and you cannot even customize this. And what I mean by that, I'm going to show you now. So there's a better way to create titles. I mean, anytime you want to create your titles, and it's highly recommended. So when you click on this title, come over to the formula bar. Don't do it here. Click on the title like this, and then come over to the formula bar, and then write whatever you want to write. So now I'm going to be writing customer by marital status, right? By marital status. Okay. Now, please watch, because we are going to be repeating this for all of the charts. So once I do that, you can see that it's created it here. But you might say, what did you now do? It does not make sense. Well, I just showed you that's a way to put a title, or to change the content of your title. But where it gets interesting is I can put that stuff here. Okay, I'm going to be putting it in this column now, this customer by marital status. So I can click on it now, and then I can reference that column again in the formula bar. It's only in the formula bar you can do it. And to reference a column, because it's like a reference now, it's like a formula or function, I have to start with equals to, and then I can reference this column. So you are going to see that it's saying that equals to this, and I click on enter. It's still not going to change. So it means that here, any change I make here, for instance, I change from marital status to marital, it's going to update. So it means that if I take this chart somewhere else, I can update the content of this chart from here. That's the dynamism I'm talking. It still might not make sense to you. Don't worry. When you do a lot of stuff, you will know why it's important. So one thing that I even want to do now is that I want us to make all our charts really, really dynamic from the beginning. So what I want to do here, I'm going to copy this guy now, or I'm going to move it to this place. Okay. And I will call it total customers. Okay, let me just call it total customers, because that's what we actually total customers. Oh, which one are we doing? Excuse me. Sorry. We are doing marital status, right? So I'll move it here. Sorry. Okay. So now I want to show you another thing. It's still part of what we already know. So here there is marital status here. Here there is gender here. Here there is occupation here. I want to make use of these things. When you are creating your chart, you can decide to be naming them by yourself. It's okay. I'm just showing you a way to make things faster and more efficient for you. So if you want to be naming them manually, it's fine. So here, what I want to do is I want to write a formula here. Okay. So, and that formula, it will appear, it's going to give me the appearance of what I want. I know that's a lot of talking. So let me show you what I want to do. So because I know that for all of the charts, I'm going to be saying total customers by. So for this one, I'm going to be saying total customers by marital status. This one, I'm going to be saying customers by gender. This one, I'm going to be saying customers by occupation. This one, I'm going to be saying customers by wealth category. Do you get the idea? So you can see that customers by is constant. So I can actually create a dynamic formula that will keep that thing for me, and then it's going to give me the value that I have. That's a lot of talking. So let me show you. So I can change this place to a formula, and it's actually going to be equals to, now it's like using concatenate. So I want to concatenate, concat, right? You already know concatenate function now. So I want to concat this word, which is customer by. I hope you are looking at it now. Customer by, I leave a space there. That's the first word. And I want to concatenate it with this value here. So once I click on it, it means that This name now will be customer by marital status. So if I copy this formula and I paste it here, it's going to automatically be customer by gender. Because here now, Excel is going to look at the formula, it's seeing A7, right? You already know that when you move formulas, you know these things by now. So here automatically, it's just going to look at the next thing under. So because the cell here is A12, so here is A6. So in my formula, I reference A7. So it means that I'm looking at the value under. So here too, when I bring it here, A12, it means that I'm looking at the value under. So if I bring it here also, and I paste, all I need to just do is to paste the formula. So once I copy and I paste this, it's going to be customer by occupation. So that's how to make things dynamic. You could have as well written it manually. It's up to you, but I'm just showing you how things can be done really, really faster. Okay. So for this one now, what I'm going to do now is to change the name. What I'm going to do now is to change this guy now, this cost, instead of writing it manually by myself, I'm just going to be saying equals to what you have here, which is this guy, cost marital status. So it's not going to change, it's still going to be what you have. But this guy will be generated dynamically, and you can always use it. Don't ask questions on this. Practice it and you see that it works. So don't ask like what's going on there. Until you practice it, that's when you can really believe what's going on there. Okay, so let me create a chart for this one. All right. So again, pivot table chart. So everything that we did in this first one, now we're going to be doing it again. So please, you can do it also on your end if you are working. So I'm going to be creating a pivot chart for this. I'm also going to be using a pie chart because we just have 3 things that we are comparing. So I think a pie chart is still good. So I click on OK. Again, I want to remove these guys. So I will come over here, field list, hide all. Okay. And then I want to add data labels. And then I want it to be outside end. So we are repeating the same thing basically. So please go ahead on your place if you can do it. This place will be at the bottom. Again, the title, I'm just going to change the title so it equals to what you have here, customer by gender, and then it is there. So I can reduce the size of this. Okay, I know it's going to look a bit rough. Don't just pardon us now. We're going to be moving all the charts soon. So also for this one, I'm going to be creating a chart for it. So I'm going to click pivot table analyze, pivot chart, and then we can actually use this one this time. Okay, so let's use a column chart for this one. So I'm going to click on OK. All right, it's been created. Again, I want to remove these guys, this guy, the same thing. So we are literally like repeating the same thing. So come here, hide all. And then I told you yesterday, grid lines shouldn't be in your chart. So I'm going to remove grid lines. Now this one, we don't need it, this legend, because we only have one thing that we are looking at. So legend should be out. So I'm going to take off legend. Now for the title as well. So I'm going to do the same thing. So you can see we are just literally repeating the same thing. So customer by occupation. This is okay, but this can be well formatted because I think I would prefer to have it in descending order rather. So the one with the highest should be here and that order. So we can actually do that. So let me show you. So what I want is I want this to be arranged from the highest to the lowest. So you can actually do it from your pivot table or from your pivot chart. Anyone is going to work. So let's do it from the pivot table. So in my pivot table, you will see this guy here. If you click on it, you will see sort. So you can actually sort from A to Z, which is like ascending, or from Z to A. But what we want to sort is not these guys. We are not sorting based on this alphabet here, because if I do sort here, it's going to bring C first and then the next letter after C. We actually want to sort by the number of customers here. So it's not about sorting here. It's about sorting this one. So in order to do that, I'm going to click on this and then I will do more sort options, right? If it's just the letter I want to sort, so let's assume that I want it to come from the Z to A. So I want like, here now you can see S comes first, P, C, M. So that's like alphabetical order, but from the back, right? But that's not what I want. So I want to sort this number. So in order to do that, I have to go to more sort options. So it's going to bring this dialog box, and then you can see that he has chosen descending, but it is doing it based on this occupation, which is the letter or the alphabet colon. And what I actually want you to do is to sort by these total customers. So I'm going to change this one from occupation to total customers, and then I click on OK. So you can see now that everything is well sorted. So you have like your skilled coming first, this guy. Somehow the alphabetical and this thing seem to produce the same result, but you get what we are trying to do, right? So now we can confirm. Okay, maybe I should take it back to the way it was so that you can really understand. So now let me do it again. So I'll come over to more sort options, and then I will do sorting descending order and by total customers. So when I click on OK, you can see that it's going to change the whole chart. So we have this one with the highest come first, followed by this one, followed by this one, followed by this one. So this looks much better. One last thing I want to do is I want to take off this guy. I told you before yesterday that I normally don't like to use this guy. So I'm going to delete it. But if I leave it like this, I don't know what the actual numbers are, right? So I can actually bring in my data labels. So you have your data labels. So it's telling me that this one is 161, this one is 86, this one is 48. So I think this looks better. I prefer to have it like this. So you can see that it's indeed taking less space and looking nicer. I feel like my titles are too big. So let me reduce the size to 11 here. And then I can give it can bold it. You can also give it a color if you want, but I'm not a color person. I think I admitted that yesterday. So I'll just leave it as default. So I'm going to reduce this one also to 11 and bold it. And then this one also, this title, I'm going to reduce it also to 11 and bold it. So literally repeating the same thing. Okay, so we have completed all the chart for these guys now. So we need to create for these guys also. So let me try to add some space here so that we can have some breathing. Let the chart breathe. Okay, so sorry about that. I hope that's not a presidential joke. Okay, let me move on. So we want the chart to have breathing space, right? So I'm just trying to create some spaces there. Okay. So the next thing I want to do now, again, just create chart for this one. But let's not forget this formula that is already helping us with the title. So I'm going to copy this formula and then paste it here. The formula is still going to work. So you can see it's changing everything to customer by wealth category. That's it. By now you should already know how smart these formulas can be. We've done a lot of formulas, so you can see everything is changing by itself. It's just picking what you have underneath that cell and then it's applying it. Okay, so you can see everything is going on. So all we need to do here is also plot the chart. So let's go very fast. Let's go very fast. If you are doing it with me, I commend you. So here we have 4 stores. So we can actually use what did I use in my own? Let me check the one I did. I think I actually prefer to use a bar chart than a column chart though. But let me see, what did I use? Okay, let me just use let's use this one. Now, let me use exactly what because I don't want to. It's not open. Sorry, let me. Give me a moment. Sorry, it's not opening. Someone is holding my mouse again. Sorry.
I think you used a bar chart, the one with the horizontal.
Bar chart, bar? Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I saw that on Discord.
Oh, on Discord, okay, yeah. So I'm going to bring a bar chart. So this one, this is the bar chart. So I'm going to click on it. So this is what we have. Again, the same thing. I'm going to take off these guys that are here by coming here, hide all. So I'm going to take off these grid lines. Again, I don't like to have, this guy should not be here because we don't need a legend. So I'm going to take off this guy also. I don't like the axis. I prefer to use a data label. So we can have data labels like this. Now, also, this one is not looking the way it should look because it's like going in, what's it called, ascending order. So actually want the highest to like come first. That's like the idea. So you know what to do, right? You can just sort it out by, let me move this here. Let's come to this side. I think we have spent too much space there. So let's come over here. Let me add some cells here so that we can have breathing space. Insert. So this one can be reduced. And then you can try to sort this by the total customers, right? We already did that before. So you can see that it's just repeating the same thing. So yeah, it will change. It's not changing. No. No. Okay. Why is it not changing? Okay, the second way to do that, let me use that to show you the second way. So you can actually do it from here also. So you could right click here and do sort. You have the same thing. So you're still going to have that same. There we go again. It says it's doing this, starting this stuff again. Sort more options. So yeah, you can see you actually came back to the same thing. So I want to sort by the total customers in descending order. Okay, I think I know what the problem is. So it's about the charts now. The issue is about the chart. So when you do ascending order, it comes from the top to bottom. So what we need to do now is to do ascending instead of descending. So that's how the chart understands. I remember it's the same thing even in Power BI. So I'll be doing ascending order by total customers. So that's why it's going to give us the way we want it. So the highest is going to be up. So it's just issue with the chart itself, how it recognizes. So this is ascending for the chart. It's all about the chart now, not really about us. So I hope you understand that. And then I'm going to change this guy now, also the title to this one. So literally we are doing the same thing. Can you see? So I'm going to reduce this a bit to this, and then I'm going to change this title to 11 and bold it. So again, plot for this. This one, we have those two options. So you know by now that I would prefer to use a pie chart, right? So it's a pie chart here. Again, remove these guys. And then make the legend be bottom. And then add the data labels, right? And then make them at the outside end so that we can. And then the title also, you can like change it to this guy. Okay, so you can now format the title to be 11 and then bold it. Okay, and then you can like really like just reduce this one. How many charts we have left now? We have 2 more, so let's go fast. So this one again, we try to do the same thing. Another option is to probably duplicate this data and try to, I don't want to show you that one now so as not to bring any confusion, but you can copy it and duplicate it, and then you would select the data. I showed you selecting data yesterday, right? Okay, let me do it so that we can play around a bit. So let me copy this. You can use Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V, or you can just do Ctrl+D. It's going to duplicate, so that's duplicate. So now I'm going to right click on this one and I do select data. So if you go to select data, you will see that the data that actually, I cannot edit. I think this is the issue with pivot table, because I remember I could not edit one yesterday as well. So I guess with pivot chart, you are not able to do that method. So let's just go back to what we were doing before. If it's normal chart, you'll be able to edit it. I'm sure.
Going on break.
You can take break. I'm just doing the same thing now, right? I'm not teaching anything new. So I'm just trying to create all the charts. So let's take a break. In 5 minutes, we'll be back. But by the time you are back, I would have created all the charts. So you can take 5 minutes break. So I
think you should finish this and go on break.
Okay. All right.
Someone needs to eat though. Some people need to eat. Then they chocolate food though.
I don't need to eat.
I did that distraction.
Me, I'm watching my weight.
So this is customer by parent. And then you can add your data labels. You can take your break, honestly. You can see I'm just repeating the same thing. If I even add anything, I would let you know when you're back. So you can take your break, please. Let's take 5 minutes break. We'll be back by 10. So I'm just literally repeating the same thing. So if I do anything strange, I will let you know. So let's come back by 10. Okay? We have one more chance to go, so I'll just try to complete it. So let's converge again by 10 o'clock. Thank you.
By what?
Not 10 o'clock. In 5 minutes time. So just calculate it in time.
Please trying this, please try to keep talking as we're doing it, please.
No. It's does the same thing. I'm not really doing anything.
I know, but the way you're talking and expressing, it's making me understand it more than being
Ah,
quiet.
We
All
are break. We are on break.
Yeah, we are on break. Exactly. We are on break. Everything that I'm doing is the same thing as what I've done. So don't worry. Don't worry. You would get it. Don't worry.
I have a question, please. Can I ask a question? Let me say this.
When we
Hello,
return, sir, others can benefit when we come back.
Okay.
Mr. Idris, I think you should get at yourself at least a glass of water. Like you've been talking for an hour. Yeah.
I think 5 minutes over now. We're back from break, please. Can we jiggle the bell?
All right. I wanted the beans to be set on fire very well because I've seen the comments and just to keep extra time. All right. I was hearing someone say something. I hope that was James because I commented, and I hope I didn't give Esau's
Yeah,
blessings.
that was me. I was the one.
James, right?
Yes, sir.
Nice. But all right. So I hope we are back. It's all of the beans cookers if you know where they are, so that we can continue. Okay. So I've just one more chart that I created, so which is this one. So every other thing still remains the same. It's already looking rough, I know. Just to show us. So of course, you cannot present this. You need to now move these guys to a new sheet, right? So I'm going to create a new sheet now. I'm going to call it dashboard. Okay. So this is my pivot table. So I'm going to copy all of them. Okay. I'm going to cut actually, not copy. So to select all of them, you click on them, you hold control, you click on the next one, you hold control, you click on the next one, you hold control, you click on the next one, you hold control, you click on the next one, you hold control, you click on the next one, you hold control, you click on the next one, and then you hold control. And then you can do control X. X for what again? X-ray. X for X-ray. So you can paste them here. So we have all our charts here now, looking somehow. So we have to rearrange. So talking of the structure of your dashboard is actually, again, with practice, you will know how to really like align your dashboard. The best practice is that you should have your KPIs first. When I say KPI, I mean key performance indicators. So these are like the obvious, like things that you really want to review. So for instance, how much sales we have made so far this month, this year, this kind of thing. These are like KPIs. Well, I don't know. We'll still do Power BI. So this Excel is not really alone about, it's not majorly for visualization. So when we get to the Power BI side, and before that, hopefully I can find some very nice resources for you guys to read, to learn more about this kind of visualization and all of that. So let me keep all those discussions for Power BI session. What we want to do now is to just arrange. Like I said, I've already shown you my own visualization before we started. So just to let you know what we're about to build. Okay. So I will just be following that pattern. Okay. Oh, we have questions. We just started now. Okay. Ask your question.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. I want to ask a question. My question goes, now look at the pie chart, right? You have orange color and blue color to identify with two numbers, right? Why can't you have the same color? Like, look at the pie, and then let me go back to the bar chart. Why can't I have different color? Can we have a different color on the bar chart to represent individual information?
Yeah, you can, but it depends on, again, you don't have to be too colorful when you are doing your visualization. So please, I know you are an artist. You like colors, I know, but don't make this a color.
Just to identify individual. You understand?
Yeah, I know. I'm just like giving you that disclaimer. You can. I do that, especially when I want to reveal an information. But I thought of not doing it within the scope because it's still like elementary. So I don't want to be really doing. So probably when we get to Power BI, then we'll play around those kind of things. Okay. So, but yeah, you can. But even when you do, you have to make sure that the colors align and you are not really like giving a lot of colors and you're having this kind of rainbow kind of looking dashboard. It has to be, that's to still be minimal. When you do those kind of things, let's not do a lot of talking. But yeah, you can, if that's
all right. Second question, please. Now, can we on this charts, can we have anything like data validation here? Can it be done on this?
Yeah, that's even, it can be done. So actually, personally, I don't use pivot table to do dashboard in Excel. I prefer to write formulas. So when I use formulas, then I use data validation for my filtering and all of that. So yeah, you can. So it's still about, changing things but you cannot do that here because your visualizations were built with with pivot table. So it might be a bit tricky. So if you have your formulas yourself, you build your stores by yourself, that's one of the advantages. Personally, if I do dashboard on Excel, I don't even use pivot. I can't even remember the last time I did this with pivot. I would rather use my formulas build up my stuff by myself, create my filters by myself, because it adds a lot of dynamism. You know.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. One
Thank
more
you.
question. You're welcome. One more question. Yeah, please go ahead. I see Mr. Imo.
Okay, yeah, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
So sorry, I did not get the part where you showed us how to arrange the line chart, the bar chart to be in ascending or descending order.
You did not get it, or you did not understand it?
I did not get it. I did not get it. I wasn't following. Sorry.
You're not following. So you want to take
No,
us? You're not
I'm
following.
not taking you back. Sorry, I did not get that part.
Okay,
I
okay,
was
okay.
trying to.
I will show you. I will show you. Okay. For the bar chart, right? Or for the column chart? Well, any of them. So what you need to do, you can do it from the pivot table, like I said, or you can do it from the chart itself. Anyone works because they are connected. Okay. So if you want to sort here, for instance, I want to sort by this guy. Okay. I want it to be in descending order. Okay. Or ascending, anyone you want to do. By default, you would have an option to sort, but the sort that you have here is only alphabetical order, which is because this column here, they are full of letters, not really like numbers. So what you want to do is to do more sort options. So here you can have possibility of changing what you need to sort by. Instead of wealth category, I want to sort by total customers, which is this one. So you can then change it. If it's ascending, you want, you choose it. If it's descending, you choose it. Do you understand? Or is still not clear?
Yeah, I do know. Yeah, I do know. Thank you.
You will understand it. Don't worry. Once you just work on it, you understand it. Okay, so let's continue, class. Let's continue. Thank you for your questions. So now we have our dashboard page, and we have a lot of we have some visual from chat. So what we'll be doing now is just moving around, changing things, and trying to let us move around and see how far we can go. So the first thing I want us to do is to take away grid lines, because this is like a visualization page. So this is not needed. So when I say grid lines, I mean all these cells that are originally in Excel, these guys. And how can you take that off? You go to view, and then you will see grid lines. You can see it's currently checked, and I remove it so I can have a very smooth place, like a paper. Now you have a very smooth area. So like I said, you want to have your KPIs at the top. We've not created any KPI card yet. So, but I know that I want to have my my pie charts. I want to have them next. Please, let's meet ourselves. Again, the structure is not really like it's by default that you have to. It does depends on you. This is how I just want to structure it. Another person can structure it in a different way, but you should know some best practices. You cannot have your KPI card at the last part of your visuals, because KPI is what the business wants to see. So these are some of the things that you need to learn with time, not in this class, with time, with practice, actually. So I'm going to bring this guy here, that of gender here. I'm going to bring that of marital status here. I'm going to bring that of homeowner here. Let me drag these guys downward so that we can have space. It's really looking messy. Okay, let me just minimize. I know it will be too tiny for you guys, but let me just try to get them in order. Okay. So we can see things where it's looking okay now, right? So we have all these guys default. So the way I structured is, if you check my stuff, I add these guys first, right? And then I add like other things follow. So one difficulty here with creating visuals in Excel is that resizing, sizing your chart is really difficult. So like in Power BI, once you are dragging, you'll be seeing some arrows, some lines. It will be telling you, okay, this is where this one stops. So you can also stop there, just like you are designing. But we don't have that yet. So, but one thing you can do is that, let's assume this is the size that I want all my bar chart to be. I can check the size of this chart itself. Okay. And how can I check it? You can go to design, format. So if you go to format, you can see the size. This is just normal, simple stuff. Even in Microsoft Word, you have them there. So the format of this, the sizing of this chart now is 1.7 inches by, is it inches now? Or it has to be inches, not feet. Can it be feet? Well, I don't know.
No, it is in centimeters.
Centimeter, is it centimeter? I see dot.
That's inches. It's inches.
Okay, this is inches here. Okay, this is inches. Okay, this is
Okay,
inches.
you're on the centimeters, right?
Inches.
Mine is in centimeters, that's why.
Okay, yeah. I mean, whatever it is.
No,
just
mine is in centimeters.
it's okay. Whether set, just know what is there. So once you have decided, I've decided that this is the size that I want all my pie chart should be. I've seen the sizing here is 1.7 by 2.4. So let me make it 2.5 so that I can. So 2.5. So I will just come here, go here again, 1.7 by 2.5. So that's how you can make sure that they are all the same size. This one also, I come here, I change it to 1.7 by 2.5. So whatever it is, whatever size you want to use, so it will be the same size. So 1.7 by 2.5. Okay. So they are all of the same size now. So I can like try to bring them maybe close or separate them. It took me some time. It's not really like I just woke up and I decided that that's how that structure would be, the one you are seeing on the Discord. So it actually takes time to really come up with how you are going to structure it. Okay. But again, the more you practice, the more
Can you try the align function?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, but that is for, that align, I'm going to use that align. Yeah. But align cannot work for the size. You still have to do this sizing. So thank you so much, brother. Thank you. So now you can see that we have this guy, let's say scattered like this, and I want them to be on the same line at the top. So that's the align that he's talking about. So I can click on this, instead of me having to drag them by myself, I can click on this, click on this, click on this, click on this, and then I will go to align. Under shape format, go to align. So I will see align, different align. So what I want now is align top. If I do align top, all of them will be at the same level. Can you see? So at the top, they are all at the same level. So this is align top. So instead of having to drag it by myself manually, that option is in Power BI as well. So I can leave it based on what I did. I think it has to go a bit down, right? It has to go a bit down. So let me bring it a bit down. Okay, good. So we have done that. So the next thing is for us to bring these guys like somewhere. So the way I have it, I think I have for, which one did I have first? Web category first. That's what I have first. I just want to copy what I have in the place. So just, it's all about dragging and, trying to just get things done. So I want to drag this here like this. Okay. Yeah, you can try to probably bring it down a bit. I think it's looking too thin. Yeah, looks good now. And then what the next one is age group. So age group, I actually have age group. So I'm going to bring this here like this. Sorry. So it's all about dragging and dropping now, right? So again, that same align, you can see just to get the perfect alignment. So I'm going to be doing something now, which is like to align these guys together. But first, I need to make sure that they are of the same size. Okay. So this one now, I will check the size again. This is 2.54. So let me do something that I can remember. 2.55 by 5.3. 5.3. Okay. So 2.55 by 5.3. So I'm going to be doing this one also. 2.55 by 5.3. 2.55 by 5.3. Okay, so we are sure that they are of the same size. So you want them to be aligned this side at the left. So all of them should be on the same line. So I'm going to click on this one, and then click on this one. You hold Control if you want to click on all of them together, and then you go to shape format, and now you can do align left. So for you to see it very well, let me bring this like this so that you can see it very well now. If I do it again, click on this one, click on this one, and then click on this one. All these things that we are doing, we also have them in other tools or in Power BI. So by the time we get there and I'm doing them, you should already know what it means. So you can see it has aligned everything at the left. Okay, so it's looking nicer now. Thanks again to that brother for that. That's how it would have just been this way. So the next thing again is this guy. So I can make this guy also the same size as this guy that I have here. I actually used a hey, let's mute ourselves. I actually used a bar chart for this occupation. So let me change it. Okay, so you can come over to where can we change it now? Design. You can come to change. I already showed you all of these things yesterday, right? Yeah, so use a bar chart instead. So if we use a bar chart now, we have to sort this now in ascending, just like similar to what we did earlier when we were doing this one. So I have to sort in ascending. So that's how we can have it from top to bottom, like this, okay? So now I can make this one the same size as this, right? So this is like, what did we call the size the other time? 2.55 and 5.3. So here also 2.55, 2.55, 5.3, okay? So they are the same size, so we can drag them somewhere here, okay? So because of what we've done before, which is to ensure that these guys, like they are on the same thing. So I want to assume that these two are of the same size. And then this one also, 2.55 by 5.3. So this one also, I'm going to change it to 2.55, 2.55 by 5.3, okay? So now I'm going to drag. So instead of dragging here again, I can do the same thing. So select this one, and then select this one. So who can tell me what align I'm going to use now? Anyone? I want to align this, all of them to
Right. Align right.
Right, good. So I'm going to do align right. Okay, so once you do align right, you can see that everything is looking good. So one more thing with that align is in order to ensure that you can see here now, the space here and the space here is different. So, and that's because these two are not on the same level. These two also are not on the same level. So we can start with these two and ensure that they're on the same level. So I can start with this one and put them aligned at the top, right? So if you do align top, they will both be on the same level. And then you can do this one and this one also align top, and they will be at the same level. This is just, I mean, look, just go through it yourself. You don't have to necessarily follow the step or the order that I followed it. The main thing, you know what you need to do, and just do it. So I think it's looking better now. If you try to zoom out, I think it's looking well arranged, you can see. So I don't really like borders, actually. Even if I have to use them, I prefer to create a section border, something like that. So I'm going to be removing borders for everything. So for this one, I'll come to format. If you like it, you can leave it. But for me, I want to remove them. So I will come to shape outline and do no outline. So I don't want borders in my chart. Don't want borders here. No outline. If you have been using Microsoft Word before, these things shouldn't be new, right? So these are where you do your, some of us that did projects and all of that. So you can see that those borders are gone, right? So for this one, am I able to remove also? Yeah. So I'm going to remove. Did I remove him? Okay, I did not remove for this archer, so I will leave them. So the next thing now that we want to do is to create a card. Okay, so that's what I want to show you now. Please pay attention here. So because by default, Excel does not have a card option. So by card, I wish I could show you one in a real distance, but in Power BI has that card option and even others. So I mean, Power BI makes all of these things simple in it. It would have been done if it's Power BI, okay? So, but it's good to go through this kind of process so that when you go to an easier tool, you find it more fun and enjoyable. So this is actually the number I want to bring, but I want to create this as a card. So I want to improvise, okay? So, you know, Excel has a shape. You know, if you insert shape, you will see this guy, this shape, this one, that a text box, right? You know this, right? So I'm going to insert a text box here. Can make it any size. And you know, when you insert the text box, you can actually write anything on it. So, but I don't want to write anything on it. I want to link it. I want to write it as a formula. So just like when we're doing linking with the chart type. Do you remember? With the chart title, I mean. So that's exactly the same thing. So, but what I need to do now is link this value here with what we have here. So it means that I will click on this text box and come here again, equals to the same concept we use with the chart title, and then I will select this guy. But it's going to give me an error. So the error is that the way this thing is written, you can see it's using a function get pivot table, which it doesn't understand. It does not accept this kind of function. So one way to do that, again, it's all about improvising. It's not really like, it's about improvising. You want to do something and then finding a way to do it. So there might be another way to create a chart. Yeah, maybe you find it by yourself on the internet, but this is how I do it. So because if you want to bring this value directly, it will have to use that get pivot table function. So what I will do is I will first create it somewhere here. So I will bring this here. So here now it will just be like a normal value here. then I can now reference that one. So that's what I will reference instead of referencing the pivot table by itself. So I'm going to do equals to, and then I'm going to select this guy. So now it's like I'm selecting B1. It's not like I'm using get pivot table again. So once I do that, you can see that the value is here. So I can format this guy now to become bigger to any size I want. I can bring it to the middle, center it, make it as big as you want. You can bold it also. Because it's a KPI, if you know what a KPI card is, this is really how it looks like, right? So, and then I can also insert another shape. And this time I can call it like, can add it here to form like an header for me. I can say total customers. Okay. So again, I'm going to centralize this one, bring it here, bold it a bit. You can give it a color if you want. That's the background now. So I can give the shape, color, background. Again, this is just, it depends on you. I'm not really a color person. So I can give it this color and then change the font itself to maybe something like white. I don't know if white will look good. Is it looking good? No, it's not. I think black is okay. So, and then I can bold it. Again, just playing around this. It's up to you. So you can see it's looking like a card. Some of us, if you have seen a card before, you agree with that it's just exactly like a card. So I want to take away this border out of this one so that it will be without border. So we can have something like this. So we can see, okay, I think the border actually looks good. Okay, I think it actually looks good like this. It's just that it's showing a bit if you zoom in. Okay, it's exactly perfect. So this is looking like a card, like you have it in Power BI. So you have total customers here. And you will see where it gets interesting. Please just, I see those hands, but I want us to finish this. So I actually created two, but we'll be going to that soon. But let me first finish the second part of this thing. Okay, let me take questions now. Let's take questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine is not really like a question, but you've not told us the limitation of copy and paste regarding the pivot table.
We see it. When we do the next thing, you will see it.
Okay.
Sure, I know. Thank you. When we are doing purchases, we still have one tab that we've not touched, purchases. So when we are doing that, you will see the disadvantage. I will show you. So any other question? No question. Okay, let me continue mine. So the next thing now I want to do, if you check our requirement, it states that we need to make this guy interactive. Do you remember seeing that in your requirement? If you don't remember, let me bring it here. So it is asking for an interactive review of our customer database. So we have to, and the only way we can bring an interaction is a way of trying to like filter and do all of that. And I showed you yesterday. Who can remind me what it's called? And we still did it today. Who can remind me? You forgot?
Introduce the slicer. Introduce the slicers.
All right, yeah. So we can bring slicer. Yeah, thank you. So we can bring in our slicers to slice things, like cut it, and then we can try to, okay. So let's see how we can do that. So we can actually just do for any of the pivot, okay? Just bring in one slicer. So if I bring for this one now, and I go to pivot this, and I insert slicer, so it's asking me what slicer do I want. So slicer is usually like, what do you want to use to slice? So we will be slicing by all those four dimensions. So first one is, excuse me, I think we have about 5, but the one I used in my own so far, in my own was, I used 4. So I used gender. So that's the first slicer, gender. I click on OK. All right. So I'm going to bring this here. Oh, gender full, not gender, gender full. Right. So gender full. So insert slicer, gender full. We've done all these things before, so I don't expect anyone to be confused at this point. Is there anyone that is still confused at this point? So again, I bring another slicer. So this time is if you are confused, you know what to do, right? You watch again. Homeowner. So those are the ones I use. I'm just literally using the ones I use. Homeowner full. So I bring that also. So homeowner full, yes or no. And then I used wealth category as well. Okay, so you could add other ones too, maybe like age group if you want. So depends on what you want to use to slice. So I just need to show you how it works. That's the whole point. So wealth category, this one also, I can like resize it here. And then the last one that I used is marital status. Of course, maybe you might be interested in knowing people who are single like you, how much they're making and all of that. Oh, sorry, not like you, but maybe like, I mean, you get what I mean, right? So apologies to the married here that I mentioned, the single people. So this is the marital status one. So yeah, everything is looking good, right? So one thing you will notice is if I try to filter now, because I created these slicers from this pivot, don't forget it's from this pivot. So if I slice this guy to female now, you see that the number of customers reduced to 156. So it means that these are the total number of female customers we have. If I bring it to male, 167. Now, how do I clear this? Just click on clear. It's going to return to default. So if I change to average here, so we can see that 156 people are average people in terms of their wealth. If you go to your this thing for wealth, you can confirm it there. You can see that indeed average is 156. So this just shows you that it's slicing correctly. But the issue now is that it's only slicing this guy. And that is correct because we only created it from this guy. And earlier today, I showed you how you can now link everything up. Do you remember? I hope you all remember. So if you don't remember, let me show you. So I'm going to click on this, go to slicer, and then you go to report connections. So here you can see that at the moment, this slicer is only connected to total customers, which it is. And I want it to be connected to everything. So I'm going to click this one. Which one is pivot 8? What's pivot 18? Is there a pivot that we have not named? Let me see. Oh, I think I did not name this pivot here. Age group. I named it now. Age. Which one is now pivot 18? Let me see. Oh, maybe I created before that I deleted. Oh, maybe I created the pivot before that I deleted. Anyways, we will not choose it since we don't know where it is.
Educational. So,
huh?
I think it's education.
I did not rename it. Let me see. Where's education? This one.
Yeah.
I renamed it. I think it's something that I've created. Something that occupation. Oh, nice. It's occupation. Thank you for that. Occupation. So I'm going to rename it. So you can see the advantage of that renaming now, right? So it helps us to know which we are connected with. So I'm going to select this one, go to slicer, and then report connections. Okay. So, and then I'm going to choose age, education. Now, I don't want gender to be filtering gender. Okay, let me choose it now so you understand what I'm saying. So let me just choose everything. But once we are done, we will not want gender to be filtering gender. So you will see what that means, and then we'll change it later. So, but I want you to filter others. So I'm going to select everything and click on OK. So now when I click on female, it's loading. Now you can see now that the more stuff we are adding to this, my computer is already showing a sign of slowing down. You can see, right? It's loading now. So now imagine we are dealing with a large data set. Oh, so now if I click on female, not only this guy changes, but every other thing has changed. Can you see? Because now we have connected it to everything. So that's the way to go. So we'll do for all of this. So for this one also, I will select slicer, report connections, and then I'm going to do this. I think you should have this. This is a bad UI. You should have select all option, Abby. What if we have a lot of slides?
I was just thinking about it now.
This is stressful. Anyways, we won't have to be creating charts in Excel all the time. So you can see my system is now slowing down gradually. So again, this one also, you select everything. Make sure you don't miss anything. Otherwise, it will not filter it. If you are still following me, I commend you. I commend you, comrade. I salute you. I mean, for doing what I'm doing, that's really nice. If you are not doing it, I commend you also. I commend you. If you are just watching, I commend you. And if you are watching this video later, right now, I commend you also.
We got it.
Okay, so this is really stressful, actually. Okay, so I think everything has been selected. So you can confirm it by trying to toggle for married, and then you see how married changes also, everything, single people, and then all of that. So this is what I was saying. Now, if I filter on married, I'm only having married left here. If you come to my dashboard now, you will see that everything has changed also. in my customer by marital status, I'm only having married left. It doesn't really make sense, right? Do you get what I'm saying? So what I want, basically, let me know if you understand what I'm saying before I do what I want to do. Okay, let me show you again. Maybe you didn't get that. So if you look, let me clear everything. Now you can see how my dashboard is looking, right? So we are able to compare different things, right? We are comparing male and married and single, male and female, and all of that. So in this case, where we have two options, if I change my filter to married, of course, it's going to affect everything here, and it means it's going to affect my chart. Now, look at how my chart is looking like for the marital status one. It's just showing married. It doesn't really, at any point, this does not make sense. So what I will want to do is that anytime I filter on marital, this one should not change. Anytime I filter on homeowner, this one should not change. Anytime I filter on parent, this one should not change. Because again, similar to that of married, if I clear this and I filter, okay, we don't have any filter for parent anyway. So, but that's what I want. So again, I'm going to go back here. That's what I wanted to explain. So this gender now, I will not allow it to change gender. So that gender will always be the way it is. So even if I change this one from what it is to female, you can see we still have all the information for gender, but every other thing has changed. It's more logical that way. Okay. So the same thing here, homeowner full. I'm going to remove homeowner, homeowner. So it will not filter homeowner whenever I click on it. It will not, I mean, why will you be filtering yourself? It doesn't really make sense. So the same thing for word card. But if you think it makes sense, you can leave it. It's up to you. I'm just sharing what I think should be the good option. So for marital now, oh Jesus. All right. So I'm going to just uncheck it and then click on OK. So now that we have created all our slicers, so I can just click on them again with Control and click on them and then cut them rather. So when I cut them, so I can come over to my dashboard and paste them somewhere here. So let me paste them here. Okay, so all it needs now is just rearranging. So I will arrange it the way I arranged mine here. So I actually have no, yeah. So you can increase, again, you can check the size of this, remember, which is 1.68 by 2.5. So here, if you come to slicer now, 1.68 by 2.5, 1.68 by 2.5. Okay, so that's the size. You can see the same thing. So yeah, 1.68 by 2.5, 1.68 by 2.5. Okay, so let me just arrange it the way I arrange mine, just to make it look okay. So I'm going to reduce it. It's too much. Again, just whatever you want to do. So you can see dragging this, dragging that. So you can just use that align tool, right? So just like our brother showed us earlier. So I'm going to click on this, and then this. So we want to align them to the left or to the right, since they're of the same side. So anyone will work, but you just need to align them somewhere. So I would choose left. Oh, this one shifted. Okay, not bad. Let's just leave it like that for now. So you can see they are well aligned. And then you will do this one also. What's that size? Who can remind me of that size? I forgot to. 1.6 what? You people are not with me. You people left me.
1.68
and 2.5.
It has changed though. Can't you see that it has changed? Did I resize it? See, I don't have.
You adjusted the height. That's why.
True. I forgot. Oh my days. I adjusted the height. Okay. I should have. Okay, no worries. We just to. It's not a perfect distance, so just to learn. We are learning. So you know what to do, right, when you are doing yours. So now we have these filters here. So these filters will help us to make this chart interactive. Okay. So let's say, for instance, I'm interested in knowing the number of female. So you can see everything here is going to change. So total customers has changed. This did not change because of what we did. So gender is not going to be filtering gender, but every other thing here is giving us the result for gender, for female. So if you check some of the questions that I asked you in our mini project, when I said that how many, you remember, right? How many, maybe I told you now that how many rich people are poor. Oh, no, sorry, that's the wrong thing. How many rich people are male? You know, this kind of thing. So you can easily answer that question looking at something like this. So how many rich people are male? So you come here, rich people, and then they are also male. How many are they? Just 15. If you go and use your formula to do count ifs, you will still get this same 15. And then you can even see their breakdown. They have to be 15. So among those 15 people, 13 are management, 2 are professional. Among those 13 people, what's this? Customer wealth. There's something wrong here. Did we not? Oh, okay. You know, we said this is wealth category will not filter down wealth category, right? So that's why this is not changing. So, but you see that among those 15 also, 10 of them are in their 50s, 3 of them are in their 60s, 80s. You can see how it has broken down everything for us. That's what we mean by interactive dashboard. Why did I create this like this? This one should not be there. I should have my data labels instead. Good. So that's how you can answer questions. So maybe someone else comes and say, okay, I'm interested in knowing how many house owners are single. So it depends on your business. So let's say our business now, our marketing department, they want to target people that are single. Maybe it's on Valentine's Day. Maybe Valentine's Day is coming now, for instance, and they want to do a promo for the male people, male single people. I'm not among them, but let's assume that I'm among them, so I will fall in this category now. So male that are single. So male that are single, right? So all they need to do is come here, male, and then that are single. So you can find them 74. So if you need more details about the male that are single, you can come here and see their occupation. So about what's going on? 74 of them. So out of the 74 of them, male that are single. What's going on here? What's wrong with all this chat like this? Did I filter something else? Oh, this is not going well. Oh, this one is correct. This one is correct, but this one is 82. I'm seeing. That means they are not filtering our occupation. Let me see. That means something is wrong with our one of our filters. So probably that's this thing with having a lot of filters. So you have to check and confirm that they are all filtering occupation. So this one is supposed to filter occupation. This one is also supposed to filter occupation. This marital status full. Let me check it. Occupation. It's filtering it. So why is it not working? That's really weird. Let me cancel it again. So male that are single, 74. Oh, it's not changing. Why? This is like 82. This should not be 82. No. I think there's, because here it's saying 37 and then it's saying 22. So why is this value not changing itself? Let me take it off and bring it again. So why is it not, is it hanging or what? Let's do it again. Let's see. So male that are single. It's working well now. So this one too. So maybe they hanged. I don't know. So I guess they hanged or something. So let me just refresh them. So let me bring the labels again. So they are working now. So I don't know why that happened, to be honest. So, but others are working. So if you count them, if you sum them up, you see that they will give you 74. So among those 74 people that are male and single, so you can see further breakdown. About 24 of them are partial college holders. It helps you to see further breakdown of your distance. So that's basically what these slides help you do. So let me stop if you have any question.
I have a suggestion.
Yes.
The slicers, the way it's actually arranged at the top, it's not making our dashboard look all good. So I don't know, is it possible we create maybe an extra column by the side just to ensure the card and the slicers align themselves together, just staying by the side here?
Yeah,
make it.
You can always put it at the top of customer by marital status now.
Sir, you can put it so far it makes sense. This is just we are just playing. You understand? So it's not like this is perfect. I'm just showing you. My point here is showing you how these things work, these slicers work, how you can use them to, and then showing you how you can arrange your visual. So any arrangement that you deem fit. In fact, you can bring all these slicers here to the side. I think there are some visuals like that. So you just arrange them here by the side. It's up to you. But again, be careful of the best practices. I know it's usually good that the sliders are at the top, but probably we have a lot of them, or the spacing, it can be better. I'm not saying this is the perfect thing, but if you feel like you can arrange it better, I mean, you are welcome. To be nice to even see it. Do you get it? I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just a suggestion. I only suggested it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually thought of making it a drop down, but I didn't see that option. If anyone knows how I can make it a drop down, it'd be nice. In Power BI, we can make it a drop down. I checked slider settings, but I didn't see anything like that, making it a drop down. So someone is suggesting that also. If you know how we can do it, please share with us. But me, I don't know. I didn't have time to even check online. But so far, at least the only option I have for sliders here is settings. And I checked settings. I didn't see anything like that. So I assume maybe it's not possible. But in Power BI, you'll be able. So what this person is saying is that instead of taking all this long space, we'll just have something. It should just be maybe female, and then you can click on it, and then you see other options, just like a radio button or something like that. So that's also a good thing. So let's take 5 minutes. I said we'll be spending 2.5 hours today, and I'm glad that we were able to even go this far within 2 hours. So we'll be using the 30 minutes, like I said, to show you the last thing. I know my sister reminded me about the copy and paste issue, so we need to talk about that. So let's meet again in 5 minutes, and then we'll continue. We'll round up with the last 30 minutes. All right. Thank you. All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's go for the last final 30 minutes in our Excel series. Hopefully we can. So we're actually done. Really, we are done with the dash. I just wanted to test something. One of the things that we've learned before, and then I'm going to be rounding up by showing you how you can bring this out, because right now they can only access, I mean, your company can only access this workbook by like having access to this file, right? So, but sometimes this kind of work, I encourage, if you're able to do it, you should post it on your social media. You know, we talked about the point here is not really about just learning. We want to help one another to really like reach out to possible recruiters and all of that. This is one of the things that you should do. So when you complete a task like this, it's recommended that you like share it. So I'm going to show you how you can like download this as a picture, just the way I have mine. In other tools like Power BI and all of that, you can actually download, you know, as PDF or something, but in Excel, you don't have that. You could print the page, but then it's going to really bring a lot of extra things and all of that, which you don't want. So I'm going to be showing you how we're going to do that. So hopefully in the next 15 minutes, I can show you what I want to show you about the purchases, and then I can come back to how you can export this. I hope you can hear me. Okay, yeah, I believe so. All right, so one thing is, let's assume now that after you have completed this dashboard, even though it's not complete, your manager comes and tells you, oh, you know what, we just got a data from the data engineers, and we have the customer, we have the total amount that each customer has actually like spent or spent in our company. So means that every of this customer, this is their customer key. So customer key is like is used to identify each customer. So this person, this customer E13001, he has actually spent 1,182 and so on and so forth. So we want you to add this to the analysis. So that's what we want to do now. Do you understand? So it means that this guy here, it needs to be somewhere inside of this our customer prep. So I can like copy it here. I can copy and paste here, right? So, but that's not really good because, well, if I copy and paste, it will work. And the only reason it will work is because this customer key is in the same order as what you have here, you know, and I left it like that on purpose. But what if it was scattered? You agree with me that you cannot copy and paste because customer 1301, let's assume it is here. You cannot copy it because over there it is not in column 2. So who can tell me? What do you think we can do to bring this guy from here to this place, to have it side by side based on the customer key? Anybody? Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, I see those signs. Yeah, please go ahead. Princess? Princess, are you there?
Maybe she on mute.
I think that hand has been up like this for a while.
What did you say?
I think her hand has been up for a while now. So the next person, I guess.
Ah, okay. So you want to try Mr. Kodet?
Oh, some other person is raising his hand. James.
I know, but I can't see the person again. I want you to try. So what are we supposed to, what can we do? What do you think we can do?
I have no idea for now.
No, you should have idea. Let's think together about it. Or you don't understand the question?
I just...
Okay, so let me explain again.
Yes, please ask the question again.
So this is the table we have been working with, right? So now our manager comes and tells us that there is a new data about the purchases of each customer. So this is how much each customer has spent in our company. So we want this to be included in our analysis. Of course, you don't expect me to create a separate VLOOKUP. I hope you did not hear that. I hope you did not hear that because I want someone to get the answer. So, of course, you don't expect me to create a new pivot table for this, like entirely for this, right? So I want to bring this guy here. So, of course, the option right now is I can copy and paste. And the only reason why copy and paste will work is because customer 13001 here is this at column number, at row number 2 is the same thing as row number 2 there. They are all the same thing. That's why if I copy and paste, it will work. But in a case where it is not in the same order. It's scattered. Will copy and paste work? No, because it will not match one by one. So how can I bring this guy from here to this place? That's what I'm asking.
We can use VLOOKUP.
Can you use VLOOKUP?
Oh, because you heard me say it.
No. I got it. I did get a question first. Afterwards, I got the question. So VLOOKUP will work because we use the unique number to look up what's at the other page.
Thank you. So VLOOKUP is actually what we need to do. So I will do that very quickly. So right, but if you didn't think it was VLOOKUP, if you thought it was index match, you are still right. You can also use index match. So, but I want to use VLOOKUP. So I want to look up, what is the value I want to look up now? This is the value I want to look up, right? Right?
Yeah.
After that, what's the next thing? After VLOOKUP, our table array, right?
Array, yeah.
So where is my table array? Here. Because this is where I want to look up that value, right? So I'm going to select all of these. Please, let's stay muted. Let's stay muted. So based on experience and all of that, I know that I should lock this because my table array should at any point not change. So let me just lock it once and for all. Now my colon index number. So what is the value that I want to return? Is the purchases. So where can I find purchases in my table array? What is the colon index number? Class?
2.
2. Good. And what is the this guy? 0, right? So
that's much 0.
And click on enter. So once you do that, you can see that we indeed got the same value as we have here in our purchases for the first one. So even if this is not in the correct order, it's still going to fetch it. You already know that by now. So what I want to do now is to just take this one to the old number back and then try to drag it down. So I believe everything should be correct because we've already logged this arrange. So let's. So I believe all of these things should be correct. So that's what we have anyway. So that's what I just wanted us to also test a bit of our VLOOKUP and also see how it works in a real life settings. Okay. So usually this is how it works. So you're trying to bring a data, they brought the data later, and then you are trying to put them side by side together and all of that. So having done that now, I want to include purchases in my analysis. So let's go back to our pivot table that we have created. So I'm interested in knowing, here is total customers. So I'm interested in knowing the total amount of purchases. Do you understand? Total amount of purchases, which is like totals. You agree with me that that's like summing all the purchases together, right? So let me say total amount. You know, the count, the total customers here was count. So, but this one cannot be count again. So let me bring my pivot. So first, I'm going to rename this pivot from pivot 24 to purchases. Please pay attention here. I know we're already tired, but please pay attention. So you will notice that this guy is not coming. This pivot guy, this guy that used to be here is not coming. So sometimes it acts like that. So if it's not showing up, you can come to pivot analyze, and then you will see field list. So when you click on field list, this guy will come out. So sometimes it acts like that. I don't know why, but sometimes. So in case you are expecting this guy to show up and it's not showing up, just go to the pivot, and it's a pivot table. It's not like you're just clicking on a normal place now. You're expecting something to show, nothing will show. So it has to be like a pivot. And if it's not showing, you come over to your pivot analyze, you will see field list, and then you have this. So I want to take off this guy because it's not customer key we are dealing with. Now we want to deal with the total sales, the total purchase. But the issue here now is that we don't have that guy. What's it called? Remind me. We don't have the purchases that we just had, right? So what we did earlier was to refresh, right? Do you remember we did refresh? So if I refresh now, you still see that I don't have that my purchases. So going back to what I explained earlier. Earlier, when we created a new column, we created it in the middle. So Excel was able to adjust. But now, the new column that we added is not in the middle. Where is it? It's at the last place. So if I come to my pivot table now our change data source becomes useful. You remember I was trying to show you earlier, right? So if I click on change data source, you will see that where is it selecting it to? Can you see the selection? Can you see where it is stopping? It is stopping at W. You know, the other time, it still stopped at W, but because we had created something inside, it was able to expand itself. Are you seeing what I'm explaining?
Yes, sir.
Aha. So you can see the issue now. So now this one is not expanding because you did not create it in the middle. You actually added it on the side. So it means that you have to tell Excel that, look, I already have another data on the side that I need you to account for. So that's where you can change here. So I'm going to change, instead of W now, it should end at X, right? So because this is X. So once I do that and I click on OK, oh my days, this is going to be stressful now. Let's see. Okay, so it's saying that this data source is having some filter. Okay, this error says that this particular pivot table is connected to some filters. And because it is connected to some filters, you cannot change the source. So the issue is that this filter here is connected to those filters. So we need to remove it. Okay, so let's do that very quickly. So if you go to this slicer and come to report connections, so you will see that, what's the name of that slicer that we just created now? Purchases, right? So because we copied that other one, it was a copy and paste. We did not create a new pivot. So it was a copy and paste. Automatically, Excel gave it that connection. So we are going to remove that connection because it is that connection that is not allowing us to modify that pivot now. So I'm going to remove all the purchases here. So please learn to troubleshoot. If you don't come across issues, I mean, nobody promises you that you will not come across issues in your work, but you need to be able to read error messages and troubleshoot them. Okay. So if you read that message again, it says that it cannot, because that particular pivot table is connected to some slicers, to some filters. Okay. So now that we have disconnected it, if we go back again to our pivot table and try to change the source again, so come here, change data source, and then from W, it is going to be X, and I click on OK, everything should work fine. Okay, so now you can see that we have purchases because we have increased the data source. So earlier, we didn't need to because we created in the middle. I hope you understand. But now we created on the side, it could not detect it, so we needed to tell it that we are increasing, or the data source has changed. So that's how we can have purchases. So now I'm going to take off customer key and add purchases instead. So I'm going to be removing customer key, and then we have purchases. So it means that the sum, which is exactly what we have by default, Excel does sum. So what we want to do is the total purchase. So if you come over to this prep now, and you try to calculate the sum of all of these things now, you should be able to get that same answer. So let's try it very quickly. Sum of everything here. So we should be able to get 173,000. So which is the same thing. Are you getting it now? So now I want to include this guy in my dashboard. To answer the question of why copy and paste is an issue, let's assume that I'm interested in including that purchases we just created. Let's assume I'm interested in including it in my pivot. This step that I did, I'm going to do it for all of these things, because none of them is going to account for that pivot. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So this same step, when we try to check our purchases, if I come over here to and check the purchases will not be there. If I bring in my field list, purchases will not be there. So I would need to do the same thing over and over and over and over again for all of the charts. So for each of the charts, I will need to include that my pivot again. That my purchases, I will need to increase the data source, do it for all of the charts. So that's actually like the disadvantage of that. I don't know if it answers. That I showed you this particular one for you to see the problem that we just solved. So you can see the number of steps we have to take to solve that. So the solution to this actually is what we call table. You could actually convert all of your ranges to table. That actually solves a lot of things, but we didn't have enough time to solve that. So I will leave that for now, so as not to create further confusion. But I hope you got an answer to your question. If not, we can talk about it on the Discord and probably maybe record a video to demonstrate what I mean. That's if you don't understand, and if I have the time to make the video. Okay, so now I want to bring this guy here to my dashboard to complete our dashboard. So the same thing that you have here for this guy is what we want to do. So I can copy this one and do Control D. Control D is duplicate. So I can bring it somewhere here and say total purchases. Is it total purchases I used in my own? I don't know. So again, I want these two to be on the same line. So you can click on this one, click on this one. It's actually difficult clicking on several text boxes. I know that. So you have to really look at it. So then I want to align them at the top. Okay, so that they can be there. And then this guy also, I'm going to copy it and paste it here. So I bring it and paste it here. So I'm going to change the formula for it, for this guy. So because initially the formula we have here is B1. So I want to change the formula to what we have here. And then the same thing, if I try to reference this guy directly, we'll get an error. So what I want to do is first bring it somewhere here. So this equals to this, and then I can reference this. So before I take it there, let me convert this one to dollar because we are dealing with currency. So let me make it currency, and then let me make it just like this. So now I can come over here. You can see we are just literally repeating the same step. So instead of this one to be B1, I will just come over here and pick this guy, which is 173. Okay, so we can have 173,000, very small. So in order to give it the same format, I already showed you about this format painter before. So I can use it to format this guy. So it's really too big. So I can like reduce the size, and then we can have something like this. So, sorry. So now this is where the issue is. If I filter all these guys now, it will not affect this guy, because this guy, they are not, all these charts now, they are not seen. Are you getting it now? Do you understand?
Yes,
they are not connected to it. They are not connected to the purchases. Only this guy has the purchases. So for you to solve that problem on your own end, I would advise that you do that step now that we did here. You connect all of these guys to your purchases, so that when I filter on male, female, for instance, I expect these total purchases to change. So this is what you need to do by Friday. Okay, so connect all your, I mean, it's not compulsory to submit, but I hope you can do it. So make sure all of these, your other things, are connected to your purchases, so that when I filter it, I can also have my purchases to change. So that's all about our pivot. So we are done.
Can you do one for us?
Huh?
Can you do just one for us?
No, it's okay. So let me do for this married now. So for this married now, I will come here, come to pivot, change my source, and change it from W to X. So if I change it from W to X now, again, that's the same issue. So you need to first go and remove it from the original place, ensure that it's not filtered, and then remove all the filters that are connected to this guy, and then come and do it again. That's what it means. You want me to still do it? Okay, let me do it. I think so that you understand what I'm saying. So this guy now is connected to that pivot now is connected to a lot of filters. So I need to take them out. So I'll come over here, come to report, take out marital. Is it marital or gender? Gender. Is it gender? What's it? What's it? Marital. Okay. So I'll take out marital from everything, so that marital will not be connected to any. Where is it? Marital. I will take off marital. Okay. So here also I will take off marital. Okay. Marital is not already connected here. We removed it. So here I will take off marital. Marital. It's the last class, so don't worry. You have enough time to watch this on Thursday and Friday. So I'll also take marital off here. Okay. So I think all the filters for marital is gone. So now I can try to change the data source. So the data source here will be X. So I want it to get to the last one. So I click on OK. So once I do that now, you can see that it's done. So if I come over to my pivot table here, you can see now that we have purchases, right? So if I come to my marital now, and where's the marital? This is the marital, right? And I change from married to single. Sorry. So I need to check this guy and see what are filtering it. So this guy, I need to check the filters that are connected to this marital. So let me come over to marital now and report connections and see for purchases. It is actually, does it have purchases?
Not there.
Purchases is not there.
Not connected.
Okay, so I think I need to, let me refresh. Okay, now that I've refreshed everything, so let me come over here and clear this and come over to slider again. Report connections. We still don't have purchases.
The only from our pivot is that we need to put it there in order to connect. Our pivot, no, sorry, the customer. Yeah, so no, we need to create. No, we only looking to customers, total customers. This thing here. So I think we need to do the same thing.
I don't understand. I think it should still reflect though. I honestly don't know. Maybe we need to create, it can't be that we need to create a new slicer. So maybe that slicer is not seeing a new, but they actually all saw purchases by default. I remember earlier, they all saw purchases. So let's check it one more time. Report connections, purchases is not here. Let me create a new slicer from here and see. So insert new slicer. So purchases. So I don't know why it's not, but no. This is not what I want. I want marital status, sorry. Oh, now I'm even getting saturated myself. Okay, so marital status full. And then we click on OK. So if I toggle this, it's not changing this one. So I think the issue should be, oh, what could be the issue?
Idris.
Okay, I will figure. Does anyone know probably what?
Right click, it's the connection. Right click on that filter. Look for connected reporting report connections or connected reports.
Okay.
Yeah, click add purchases there. Then okay.
Why are we having just two? Yeah, that's
you should be able to show.
You only click on marital for marital this thing status.
What of the other reports?
Maybe we have to do it the same way. You have to click on, or probably we have to highlight and select all, then now click.
I'll figure it out.
Sir, other reports don't have the same data source range, I think.
Yeah.
We have.
So until you create all of the, until you make all of the pivot that you created, until you make all of them have the same data range, I think then we can have a bit more consistency. So, but right now, the only reason why this guy is not working is because purchase is not connected. But the issue is, for me, I feel like this guy should even have purchases since we have updated marital status. So, but he's not having purchases. That's even where the issue is. There's no purchases here in the one we originally created. That's where I'm even worried now. But I don't want that to take a lot of time. So you can still keep it like this. Just complete your work like this. The most important thing right now is for me to even show you how you can export your project. So when you get to this point, you are still good to go. I will find a way to revise how we can like correct this, and I would show you. So the last thing I want to show you is exporting your project. So first, you can give it a title. So there are several ways you could do that. You could use a text box. So let me add some space up here. So you could use that same text box that we have been using. I know it's already a lot, guys. So apologies. I hope you catch the video. So you could give it a color if you want. This one seems to be like misaligned. So I can like align this again, just make it the same thing. So you could, if this is the width, for instance, so I could give this a name and say like customer sales dashboard, that kind of thing. Any name you want to give it, okay? So you could increase the size of this one, could bold it, anywhere you want to put it, maybe center, anywhere. So it's up to you. So, and then you could like give this a background color. So I want to give it This is the one you can use this one. Okay, I hope it's not looking the same as what we have. So let me give it something different. Maybe you can give it this, and then you can change the color of this to white. It's up to you. So you have something like this. And then the last thing you want to do is, I don't know if there are other ways, but this is how I do mine. So I'm going to do something now. Let me reduce this space to this side. And then I want to take off everything that we have from here till the end, right? So, and the way I can do that is click on this place. It's going to go to the end, as you know, and then I will do Control-Shift arrow right. So I want to go to the last place, as you already know, right? So this is actually the last value that you have on the row side, in case you have wondered. So now I'm going to do right click and hide them. So once I hide those things, you can see they are not showing. And then I'm going to do the same thing underneath. So let me expand this to come here. Don't worry if you don't understand it. When you're watching the video, you understand what I'm doing. So the same thing underneath, maybe from here, I can start from here and then do Control-Shift down, takes us to the last. So this is actually the last cell, in case you also wonder. So we're going to right click and hide. So once you do that, you have something like this. So it's now looking like a paper. Can you see now? I hope you can see. So it's looking like this. So once you have these, how you can do Control-P to print as a PDF, but it's going to look like you have to probably change all of these things to fit on one page, these kind of things. But this is not recommended because you still have some spaces here. And I really like to bring it out as picture. So I want to show you how you can do that. So everything that you have created here, they are all objects. If you notice that when I was even typing, I did not just use normal typing on a cell. I used an object. Can you see? This is how you identify object. All these things, they are all objects. So what you want to do now is click on any of the objects and then do any of the chart, anything that is an object, and do Control-A. So Control-A is like select all. You already know this shortcut in Microsoft Word. You are trying to select everything. You can also do that by, if you come over here, for instance, click on one of the objects and then come to find and select, and then you see select object. So if you do select object, you can actually be selecting them one by one, but this still does not make sense. So just use Control-A after you have selected an object. If you don't select object and you do Control-A, it's going to only highlight the cells. You can see it's cells that is highlighting now. But what we want to highlight is the object themselves, so which is this. So you have to ensure that you are selecting this and then do Control-A. So once you do that, you can just right click on any of them and then you will see save as picture. So once I do save as picture, let me save it in our summer camp and just name it test 1. Okay, so when I save it as test 1 and I go to summer camp, this is it, and I open it. So we have it here. So let me bring it here. So this is what we have. So you will notice that it's like we don't have a background. Do you understand? Which is true because what you are seeing in your Excel, they are cells and we've not included cells because we only selected the object. So what I can do now is to try to give this thing a background by myself, because here you can see we have selected everything, but there's no background. So how can we do that background? So let me quickly go over again. So let me go to my Excel. So I'm going to bring in a box. Okay. So a shape is a box. This is not a text box now, just a normal box. And then I'm going to draw it. So let me draw it and let it cover the whole page. Okay. Okay, maybe it can stop somewhere. Yeah, let it just cover the whole page. Let it cover the whole page. Are you listening? Are you following?
Yes.
So cover the whole page. Cover the whole page. Okay. So now it's covering the whole page. So this is going to be the background, but right now it's on top of all the things that we created. Right? It's on top. That's why we cannot see those things that are under. So what we can do is you will send it to the back. If you are working with Microsoft Word before, you already understand send it to the back, send it to the front. But if not, I will show you. But this, if you send it to the back now, you might find it difficult to click it. So I try to do whatever change I want to make here before I send it to the back. So I don't want any complications with my background. I want my background to be white. So let me first change this guy now to white. I will change it to white so that it's white. So it's white, not blue. Then I'll right click on it and say send to back. So once I send to the back, it will go to the back. So it's now like forming the background for me. Don't forget, it's still an object, right? So it's not like anything changed, but you can see now that we have that white. We are not seeing those cells again. Now, if I click on here, on this place, now you see that I cannot click on any cell again because that guy is what I'm clicking on. It has been sent to the back. It's an object. So once that is done, now you can do that again. So Control A to select all the objects and then just right click here and save as picture. So once you save as picture, I want to save it again here and I will call it test 2. So you can see the difference. Test 2. Okay. So once I save it, and then I come over to my file here, and we have test 2. Now, when I open it, that white background will be there. You get the idea of the white background. So it helps us to, instead of that other one, so you can see all your visuals. So that's all we are done for today, for our Excel. So I know it's a lot, guys. I hope you have some time to practice this. Very important. It really helps when we get to Power BI because a lot of things that we did manually here, they are like really easy to do with Power BI. But this is really good to have this kind of experience. So please find time between today and tomorrow. Between tomorrow and next, really work on this. And on Saturday, your mini project. Like I said, your project you would have until midnight to submit. So it will not be 2 hours. So we have 2 hours to submit. We have till midnight to submit. So of course, me telling you, you have till midnight, you should know that you should be ready for something really massive, right? So prepare your mind, make sure you are well rested, you revise everything that we have done. And by tomorrow, I will send the link. I hope I'm able to record. If I'm not, I will just send the one I used to send before. So I'll send the link for you to install MS SQL on your computer. So I know that a lot of people will have issues with it. So from tomorrow, we'll start tackling the issue with the installation so that everything can be ready by Monday when we have our first SQL class. I know a lot of you are excited about the SQL because based on your survey, your form that you filled when you registered, many of you are actually interested in the SQL. And I believe that's going to be a very nice journey as well. So thank you so much for following the SQL, the Excel series to this point. I hope you were able to learn 1 or 2 things. And then we would connect on Saturday morning. Of course, Discord is there for us to chat. So until then, I hope you have a good time. Thank you and see you. Bye-bye.
And you too. Thank you. Have a good night, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.